creative destruction. That's a very powerful word. But for a value investor, and where does this fit in the overall framework of terminal value investing?
True. So Nikunj, we are all living in the world of change. As Bhagavad Gita says, change is the only constant. That change is now happening at an ever accelerating pace. And with that change, value is shifting. As an investor, therefore, one has to adapt to that change and pursue that shift in value. If one doesn't, then one is stuck on the wrong side of value migration. Shakespeare had this fantastic quote, "There is a tide in the affairs of men which, when taken at the flood, leads on to fortune." So that is the change and the power of the value shift that we are talking about. Creative destruction specifically was a term coined by this economist called Joseph Schumpeter. And through every economic cycle, there is a process of creation and destruction, both. Even the traditional Hindu trinity talks about Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, which is the creator, the nurturer and the destroyer. So there, that same concept of creation and destruction simultaneously is brought together. Now, why is this process of creative destruction through each economic cycle triggered? It is triggered either because of innovation, or because of imbalance in demand supply, or because of change in business models, or change in financial models, or it could be change in demographics, and so on. There are many such factors. There was a Russian economist called Nikolai Kondratiev who came up with this concept of Kondratiev cycles. Okay? And if you see the data, these Kondratiev cycles have coincided with very large innovations. And typically, Nikolai Kondratiev talked of an economic cycle of roughly 78 years duration. But subsequent economists, for example, there is an economist called Dan Smihula, who talks about the shortening of these cycles. So from, let's say, the agricultural revolution, which took a little over 180 years, to the industrial revolution, which took less than that, to the computer revolution, or the information age revolution, which took even lesser than that, to the digital revolution, which is taking even less than that. So what we are seeing is that the value shift occurring in each cycle is getting larger and larger, and at the same time, the time of that value shift, that process of creative destruction in an economic cycle is getting shorter and shorter. So like the universe is ever expanding, this value shifts is not just ever expanding, but also ever accelerating. So I think it is imperative for each investor, especially terminal value investors, to be conscious of creative destruction and participate in that creation process while simultaneously avoiding the destructive part of the cycle.
So what?
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.